Good morning. Happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday, happy Wednesday. Sun is shining on my face, also known as Hump Day. Happy Hump Day. Everybody wants to know where did that come from? Okay, so if you know the Geico company and their kooky commercials, there was one that they've been showing, actually they've been re-showing it lately, about this camel walking through an office saying, "Hey guys, you know what day it is?" And he's a one-humped camel, and of course, his favorite day of the week is Hump Day because, well, he's got a hump, right? So I just love that commercial, and so it's my mom and I actually actually even do the Happy Hump Day. Yeah. So happy Hump Day. I'm Valerie Shepard. I'm coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery. And what we do here is help you master yourself in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. Believe it or not, the situations in your life are to be managed by you, created by you. Ooh. They're happening for you, not to you. You're a co-creator with those experiences. And the Hump Day Happy Chat is about giving you some tips and tools, some wisdom, some guidance from my personal journey and the journey of my clients and my students that can help you get into a deeper level of self-awareness, self-acceptance, and self-love that make you an exquisite master of everything, an exquisite manager of everything that your life brings your way. In my case, there have been some interesting things. The most recent explosion was the one in my head. I don't know where that came from. The explosion in my head, which was a blood vessel bursting, also known as a brain hemorrhage, also known as a hemorrhagic stroke. And I still talk about that because part of my exquisitely managing is still going on, right? It's not over. A lot of times we have situations and they resolve very quickly, and some kinds of things aren't over. And I start that, I'm starting there. Some kinds of things aren't over because I've been feeling kind of raw lately. Today's topic is I'm feeling raw. And what do we do when we're feeling raw? And what does it mean even when we're feeling raw? Like, what's really going on with the raw feeling? And so I don't know when you feel raw, what's happening, but I'll share some of the stuff that I hear, that I'm feeling, that I hear about from my students and my clients. So thank you for joining, first of all. So raw for me, raw, this feeling of, someone asked me the other day, how are you doing? And I said, I'm feeling out of sorts, right? There's like something, I don't know. My friend and colleague, an exquisite person who is the founder and CEO of Project Forgive, talks about having a brrrr going on below the surface. And that really is a great way to describe it. And sometimes, or maybe it's a lot of the time, when I feel this raw feeling and there's a brrr and I feel out of sorts, it's not necessarily a specific thing that I can put my finger on. Don't you feel that way sometimes, where it's like I'm feeling something and I can feel that it's kind of, maybe I could call it getting in my way. It's not necessarily getting in my way, but I know it's there. I know it's there. And maybe that thing is, it's bugging me. It's that prominent that it gets on my nerves, right? So this feeling of feeling raw, like when I think about the use of the word raw when I describe feelings, so people tell me it's like you have an open wound, like it's open, it's kind of a bad cut, it's bloody, fresh, right? Just experienced. You still feel that raw thing of when it first happened. It can be emotionally painful. People use painful to describe the emotion sometime of something that they're going through. Maybe it hasn't had any time to heal, or maybe it's coming back up right this moment to be healed. Wonder what that is. So it's like feeling like a big open wound, or it may just be that I feel ultra sensitive. Like the least little thing is going to get me into an emotional place where I feel vulnerable and like open, exposed. That's probably the word that I've been wanting to feel and express. Exposed. I can't quite explain why, but like anxiety comes up, maybe despair comes up. And when this happens, like when the rawness comes up, I don't know about for you, but for me, it seems like the least little thing when I'm in this space of, I feel kind of out of sorts, tips me in a direction. It kind of triggers a direction where the emotions almost overtake me. And in some cases they do. I can feel it right now. What wants to be felt, what wants to be shared. And it's fine when I'm at home by myself, It's different when I have to go teach, or I'm on stage, or I'm working with a client, or I've set aside this time to get things done, be productive, which is what many of us are conditioned to believe that's our purpose. We're here to get things done. So a lot of times the emotions that we're feeling get in the way of getting things done. A long time ago, I had a boss. I was working at a nonprofit, and I had a boss actually say that to the staff. All of these emotions, I wish you would just keep them in check. We have stuff to do. We need to get things done. Leave your emotions at home. And that always was bizarre to me. And especially in the role that I am now, that's not possible. Okay, your emotions are a part of you. And so let's talk about this, whether you're feeling anger or jealousy or fear or sadness. Sadness can come up a lot. We need to make a different kind of relationship with emotions. So a couple things to think about. What if your emotions are just a language inside you that's trying to get your conscious mind's attention? So they're potentially heart-based, although we do see how sometimes the head takes over and puts all these definitions on the emotions and heaps all this extra energy around them. And then the emotion itself has taken on a whole new life. It's not okay. So feeling raw then becomes a bad thing. We want to chase it away and we want to stuff the emotions down. When actually feeling raw is just a wave of energy. It's just like anything else. It's movement. It's a language of me wanting to get my attention, or maybe just to be released. So sometimes my raw feelings in this moment have nothing to do with this moment. We'll talk about that in a minute. So here's what I hear a lot when emotions are talked about. There are bad ones and there are good ones. You may have been conditioned this way. So good ones are feeling happy. Wee-hoo. Bad ones are feeling sad, feeling angry, feeling resentment, feeling jealousy, feeling fear. And here's what I want to say. I don't believe there is such a thing as a bad emotion. Like, that's just conditioning. And the reason I don't think that, for the science, but the other reason is there's no universal definition of what's bad. In some families, and I ask this question every single quarter of all of my classes and of all of my clients, and I always get different answers. In some of their experiences, they were conditioned to believe that anger is bad. And even so, in their families, there were certain people who were allowed to be angry, just not them. In some families, it was the mom who was allowed to be angry and could display her anger. And it created in the child an idea about what displaying anger means and what could happen. In some families, it was the dad. In my family, it was more a dad-based activity. Anger was okay, not in me. In some families, believe it or not, happiness isn't okay. It's like if you're a little too happy, you're not taking life seriously. You're not looking out for what may be lurking around the corner. Happiness doesn't stick around, so you better be prepared for when it turns into something else. So these emotions that we decide, there are good ones and there are bad ones, that's not true. It would be really great for you to do an inventory of your own experience and your own conditioning around your emotions and get clear on, what are the ones I try to keep at bay? Because if you're not feeling them, I'm keeping them at bay because I have conditioning around they're not right, they're not good, I'm not allowed to be that. Then you're anchoring in them, actually. Whatever you resist persists. That's law of resistance. So when you keep saying, I don't want to be an angry person, I don't want to feel anger, anger's not good, I can't display my anger, you're actually having your anger stick around. So what do we do? And why am I talking about this relative to happiness? Okay. So when we bring it back to happiness, what I teach, what I put in my book, what you'll always hear me say when I'm speaking is that happiness is available for you. The highest level of happiness is called joy. It's already in you. You came in with it. Joy is a part of your constitution. It's a part of your consciousness. And the idea is to raise your consciousness, get your consciousness in alignment with the highest version that you are. And the highest version that you are doesn't change. You don't have to chase after it. You just have to be it. You just have to align with it. But it's always there waiting for you. It's like, your favorite old sweatshirt. It's there. You just got to put it on, right? So what's getting in the way of me feeling that joy may be some old pocket of pain in this moment. The raw feeling, when I dig deeper into it, is not about this moment. It's about something else that's coming up. And coming up for what reason? People ask me. Well, to be healed and released. That way, when it's out of the way in a positive, healed way, it opens up the avenue for me to be in alignment with my highest self. The brilliance that I am, always, even if in a moment of time, that brilliance may be overshadowed by something else that is being revealed, that is being felt. So the happiness is always there. What does this have to do with happy? Allowing yourself to be raw is a part of being happy with who you are. Being accepting of today's not like every other day. So here are some solutions to feeling the raw and how you can experience it and stay in your happy place. I'm very, very joyful. And there's something moving, and I'm not completely sure what it is, but I know it's happening for me, not to me. So number one, can you make it awesome? Not okay. Can you make it awesome, exquisite, phenomenal, fantastic? Can you get into a juicy love affair with feeling raw? Can you make it awesome to just feel what you're feeling? I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling hurt. I'm feeling shamed. I'm feeling unjustly blamed. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling really scared. I'm really scared. Can you just make it okay to claim what's true and let it be true? There are no such thing as good or bad emotions. We talked about that. The problem is not really in feeling something. It's what you do with the feeling, right? So if you make it okay to feel it, then you can get clear on, well, where's it coming from? What did it come to teach me? What's it helping me understand from me? This is a language from you to you, about me, by me, and for me. So what is this coming to teach me? What can I learn from it? So Feel your feelings. Make it exquisite and awesome that you're feeling raw or angry or sad or afraid or any number of other emotions. Then notice how you express them. The problem is never really in feeling the emotion. The problem comes up in expressing them. Those students who told me, in their families, the mother could be angry, but they couldn't. What they learned was it was the expression of anger that created in them a conditioned pattern of response when they get around angry people, or that keeps them stuffing their anger, which means that eventually it's got to go somewhere. It's just energy. That energy has to move at some point. It would be better just to let it flow rather than to store it up and let it erupt like a volcano. So how we express our emotions is where they go from neutral, just energy, to something else. So notice how you're expressing emotions, and notice if you're becoming them. Are you becoming an emotion? So you express anger so readily, so much of the time, that you're actually an angry person. People would say that about me before I started down this journey that led to my book and what I'm doing now, that you just feel angry all the time. I would get it in performance evaluations, which was a hard place to get feedback like that, especially when I knew I was trying so hard to be different. Nonetheless, there was something in me that was coming out in a way that wasn't supporting me, and it wasn't supporting my teams. So watch becoming it. So here's what you do. You feel the emotion. You feel the sadness. Notice. Wake up in the moment. Notice, especially if you're interacting with others, notice that what you're feeling is about you. It's coming from inside you. So I really get troubled when people say, you're making me feel that way, or it made me feel. And I really help my students to catch that language coming out of them, because that's giving your power away. That's basically saying you're not a co-creator of your experience, of your universe. You're not. You're basically a victim of whatever other people do and say. And that's a really disempowered place to be. And to claim that over and over doesn't serve you. And it certainly doesn't serve you being happy and whole. So living happy to be me is about taking personal responsibility and knowing that whatever I'm feeling in a given moment is really coming from me. What the other thing did, whether it's a music, whether it's a movie, you can try this. Just if when you're watching a movie and something happens in the movie and you start crying, like there's something going on in the moment, but the movie may be bringing up something that reminds you of something sad. The same thing can be happening when the person is talking and it triggers some pocket of pain in you, and they made you angry. They made me jealous. So first is to feel your feelings. Second is use personal responsibility. Wake them in the moment and notice that whatever you're feeling is about you. Don't blame and shame the other person. And for heaven's sakes, don't give up your power by saying you made me feel this way. Using nonviolent communication, you would take responsibility and say, you know what, everything that's going on right now is triggering a feeling in me. I am feeling something related to this activity, right? I'm feeling it related to this activity or related to what's being said. And that really takes ownership of it and leaves the other person out. It's a high, high calling to be in strong personal responsibility. You're approaching higher consciousness when you take responsibility for what you're feeling and how you manage that. Self-mastery. Then you might want to create a safe space in the moment. So the way I create a safe space is I stop talking. Take a couple deep breaths. Get reconnected to me. What's my intent in this moment? Make it okay. Feel what I'm feeling. And in love and appreciation and tolerance and patience, just allow it. Feel safe in the moment, feeling the rawness, feeling out of sorts, being okay, being vulnerable. being okay not being able to fix it. Maybe being okay not even needing to fix it. Just allowing what's coming up to come up. Clearly, what I'm feeling right now has nothing to do with you out there in cyberland. Thank you for sticking with this and watching me and joining me. So create your safe space, especially if snot's running down your face. Take a break. Take a breath. You might have to separate yourself from the situation. You know what? Something's coming up right now. I think I'm just going to not be with this. You might have to excuse yourself from the conversation. You might have to take a break, meaning take the rest of the day off. I tried that yesterday. Unfortunately, taking the rest of the day off happened at 5:45 p.m. I haven't learned yet what take the day off. My coach was like, stop doing it. I'm like, take a break. Well, I'm still learning what that really means. I still am learning how to love myself into rest. I offer it to you as an opportunity. Take a break. And then one of the most important things is to create space to go deeper into the feelings. Maybe you have to do this with an advocate, right? A coach, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a partner, a friend, a spiritual counselor, a healer, an energy worker. I mean, there are dozens upon dozens of people out there who can be an advocate for you. By that, I mean, they don't wax poetic about it and they don't shove it over and they don't tell you, get over it. There's nothing to cry about. What they do is say, feel that. Go ahead and feel it. So my coach said yesterday while I was bawling. Feel it. Allow it to move. Take a break. Get deeper into it. Go deeper. Deeper. I say that in my book. The treasure's in the dig. You gotta dig. So you go deeper below the surface. Surface perception is often deceiving. So go below the surface. When you can, share your experience, kind of like what I'm doing now, or when I've been with people and I got triggered by something they said, and I do my best to use compassionate communication to say I'm being triggered right now, or to say I'm feeling really uncomfortable about this, and right now I'm getting a no, and so I need to take a break. And the whole time, notice. This is where the juju is. Notice. You've noticed that I can still laugh. I can still see the beauty in it. I can still see the elegance in it. I can still see the divine in it. I can still see the divine and the beauty and the elegance in me, even though what I'm feeling feels raw, feels ucky. It's not who I am. It's not what I am. It's just a situation that I'm experiencing in the moment. And that's where the happy chat comes from. Like that's the squishy center of it. Realizing that emotions are not who or what you are. They're just waves of energy that you might be sitting in right now. And in that way, they're magnificent and necessary. And they have gifts and messages. So, love yourself through feeling raw, just like I'm loving myself. Thank you so much for joining the Hump Day Happy Chat. It's been a real great honor and pleasure to do these happy chats, and I'm so grateful for all of you who watch live in the moment, who share them. There's somebody out there who's having this inner dialogue, this inner turmoil that this might be helpful to. So I really encourage and invite you to help me help them by just sharing it. Just share, put it on your page, share it with friends, whatever you can do. The more we create inner peace, inner happiness, inner acceptance, inner love, the more we create that inside, we change the world. My own healing changes everywhere that I go. And same with you. Multitudes. Where does peace come from? From those of us in the world creating peace inside. And guess what? If you want to go deeper in this with me, if you want to explore these things, if you want to create the opportunity to get new awarenesses and put on some new practices, come to my This Is How You Soar, Creating Transcendence in Everyday Life retreat. It's the weekend retreat in the beautiful California redwoods near Santa Cruz. I'll put the link in here, but you can find out more by going to tinyurl.com/SOAR1440U. SOAR number 1440 and the letter U. tinyurl.com SOAR1440U. I'd love to welcome you and dance in the weekend with transforming these energies and creating transcendence. Yay, thank you so much for joining. This has been Valerie Shepard and this week's Hump Day Happy Chat. See you next week. Bye. See you later, alligator.